Hello once again, travelers in the void. We'll be doing another reading that is going to be a direct, not answer, but a continuation of the previous reading that we did about if the person on your mind is moving on. So this next question is going to be, is this person coming back? Is the person on your mind coming back to you? Are they leaving? Are they still interested? Are you going to come back to them? Something, I want to get all the details. I want to see the whole story. I want to know everything. We already got one out. We got Virgo. Let's see what else we got. Might just pick one and just not look. Capricorn. Got two. Aquarius, Taurus. Pull two more. Okay, I got a few more. Leo, Libra, Aries, and Gemini. Gemini. Welcome to the collective, Gemini. Okay, so let's get started on this reading. Just push these out the way a little bit. So, once again, our question is the person on your mind coming back to you soon? How's that going to work out? What needs to be done for this to happen? How is the divine guiding this to happen, if it is happening? Okay, let me just pause this and get all the cards out. Okay, I got the main tarot cards out here, and while I pull the confirmation cards, we'll just talk about this spread real quick. So, Celtic Cross as always, and I'm not saying that they won't come back, but there's still definitely some challenges. The crossing energy is judgment, so we still have some baggage that needs to be left behind. We also have the 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups, 7 of Cups is a bit of, dreams and illusions and not really knowing which cup to choose. The mind is still evaluating, still just being kind of busy, but subconsciously there's a need for action to take. And also I feel like the advice here, being the 6 of Cups, is saying, yes, you need to take some action. And we're going to find out what kind of action that is. But with the 6 of Cups, it's usually a turning point of some sort. Being more innocent, being delicate, definitely. Justice on the present position. 2 cards in the past. 10 of Pentacles and 7 of Cups. So we get 7 of Cups again. 2 10s. Ace of Cups. 4 of Wands. 4 of Cups. Queen of Cups, 10 of Swords. Okay, yeah, this is a very complex, or not complex, but I would say the reading is very, it's a lot of emotions here. There's a lot going on. A lot of thoughts, emotions, a little bit of, I would say, yeah, a lot of emotion. But there's this passion that's kind of like firing up the like murky water, Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're definitely going to be coming back. Let's grab an oracle card. 2 of them. Okay. I believe this is the Christian catacomb. And then there's also the Islamic crescent and star. Crescent, moon, and star, I believe. Okay. Now we're getting it from the power deck. Get some wisdom. One second. Okay, so much stuff is flying over the place and falling down. And usually I do not pick up when this many cards come out, but I don't know, something about it is just like, I feel like there's just this intensity and there's like all this energy, you know, just like all this energy that's like wants to come out and it has all these things to say. And I'm like, ooh, that's heavy. But you know, let's get into it and let's just read off some of these oracle cards, and we won't get too deep into them because there's a lot, but we'll just take it as like a general, like I feel like this is what they're going through. This is what things they want to say. This is like, yeah, let's just get into it. So we'll start with nurturing. Nurturing, as we see here, has the 7 chakras on it, and it's also the number 8 card, and the 8 card has to do with abundance, and it has to do with nurturing. That's what the number 8 has to do with. And you know, this card, if I just skim it real quick, it's saying to nurture your dreams. Nurture your dreams, nurture the things that you want to achieve, nurture the things within yours, nurture yourself for the things that you want to do so that you can make certain things happen. So it seems like to me that they want to not only nurture themselves, but I feel like they want to nurture you. We also have grief. And we have a man crying here. And I know this grief is about allowing grief to be a teacher. It's about allowing your pain instead of just allowing it to hurt you. It's about having it teach you the lessons that you need to learn so that you can grow, and that, you know, grief or the things that bring us grief can be some of the best teachers in our life, and we can learn some of the best lessons. And here we also have skill, which is we have I believe a Zen garden with cosmic planets, which is pretty cool. And this one is about expressing your highest nature. It's about turning all the things that you can do, all your skills and everything, and not seeing it as your identity, but seeing it as something that you can do and something that can, again, uplift you, learn new things, learn how to do things with wisdom and skill, and learning how to, let's see if I can get a little sentence here. A Zen garden expresses the essence of life in highly perfected skill. Come to the inner truth that produces true skill. So yeah, going within, finding that true skill, that true ability within you, and bringing it out and showing the world that you can do it. We also have illumination. So I don't quite remember what this card is, so maybe I'll just read it. As dark comes, the mirrors of your spirit reflect different images. It is time when the world changes and your being begins to glow. Reflect on the new vision that has been living on the parameter of your consciousness. An idea is stalking you and awaits your invitation, a place within to begin life. The totality of your creativity comes after you have begun your work on the sacred painting of your life. It is then that the muses of inspiration surround you like eagles and cheer you on to illumination. Take responsibility for your work and your life, and illumination will follow. So yeah, so to me it seems like more stuff is falling down. Taking responsibility for coming out of the darkness and coming out of and leaving the things behind that are stopping you from being illuminated or stopping you from being the highest version of yourself, and taking that leap of faith so that you can be the highest version of yourself. You can release that true skill. So I think that's something that is going on for them. They're trying to become illuminated. Imagination. How many more cards do we have? Just a few. Okay. Exploring the wilderness of your own soul through contemplation brings you to the altar of your imagination. To have a circle of imagination in your being, walk with the untamed, wild, instinctual side of your nature, all the time knowing its power. Like a woman aware of her pregnancy as she moves through her round of daily tasks, you need not focus on the unborn life in order for its nature to continue to grow. Always remember that the inspiration comes after reflection. After the seeds of creativity is planted. Once you begin your creative work, the energy of the universe comes to you and imagination flows. So I think what that's trying to say, I think it's like, you may not know what's going on behind the scenes. You may not see the child that is being born, figuratively. You may not be seeing the opportunity that is being born behind the veil, but there's definitely something coming towards you right now. There's definitely something, this person is maybe gaining the courage to come forward. Offering, number 4. Picture. Every day of our lives we take from Mother Earth our energy for life, yet we often forget the ancient tradition of the sacred giveaway. Take a moment to sit in the silence and count the magnificent things you have in this life. Even if the only wondrous of being even if only the wondrous of being given life. Only if the only thing you can be grateful for is life itself, which is true. Reflect on the great mother, Mother Earth. Ask yourself, What have I given back to her lately to heal her? Then think of the higher version of life and balance on this earth, and realize that the greatest gift you can give Mother Earth and your fellow humans is your own enlightenment. In this way, you tear away the veils of ignorance and present the magnificence of your being to everyone who experiences you. Everyone around you is uplifted and inspired. This is your offering. I heavily resonate with this card. This is actually one of my favorite cards because I think, and I feel like this is going directly towards the person who we're talking about. I'm not like, I think this is advice for them. So it's like, if you want to evolve, if you want to become a better person, if you want to become that highest version of yourself, if you want to become the prize, no amount of material gain, no amount of material wealth, or, showing off or ego is ever going to amount to what you could offer when you shine your soul. Like, there's nothing that will ever top that in a million years. And that's one reason why, me personally, and the things that I believe in, it's like, I don't care what people think or what people have to say about me, because I know that I work on myself every day. I work on myself every day. I meditate, I cleanse myself, I shine bright, because that is my greatest gift to the divine, and that is my greatest gift to myself, and that is the greatest gift to Mother Earth. So if you want to be that highest version of yourself, you must come out of the dark and you must shine brightly. You need to be your true self. You need to shine. You need to show the world who it is that you fucking are. Now, perfection. It's number 17. Dream your passion. Fly away. Go through the hoop of your innermost fears and desires. Meet them and conquer them. What pain from childhood have you not dealt with? Move into that wound of your most secret fears and find the seeds of wisdom that are planted there. Face what upsets you the most. It is a great teacher. This card is very similar to grief. Give away whatever is holding you back. Insecurities, ego, fear of failure, or of not being loved. Fear of being alone. And be reborn into a new state of being. So going back into the offering, into perfection, it's like, to grow out of those bad habits, you have to face them. You have to face them, and you have to see them for what they truly are. And when you really look at it, when you really look at what you've been so fearful of for so long, and you look at it straight on, right? You're going to see that it might not actually be as scary, ugly, or disgusting, or whatever it is that you fear from it, or heartbreaking, as much as you thought it was. Because the mind plays tricks on us. The mind plays so many tricks, and if you're only listening to the overthinking, you're only listening to the voices telling you no, you're not listening to spirit, you're not listening to your soul, you're not listening to the divine trying to be that balance, saying, no, this is like, what you're thinking is overreacting, you're overthinking. You need to just relax a little bit, take care of yourself, nurture yourself, as we said earlier. You're going to see that how you've been thinking about this in the current perspective, in the current light, has been false. And you just need to change your perspective just a little bit. And if you just change your perspective just a little bit, if you're able to face those fears a bit, if you're just able to conquer them and shine, you will see that you will grow a lot faster than you thought you were going to. And the next card we have is intuition. Again, trusting intuition, not overthinking, not just being stuck up here. You're so much more than just your sun sign. You are actually your rising sign. That sign is so much more important. And I would even say the moon sign is also just as important as the sun sign. That is really good coffee. I put like cinnamon in it, like the actual like bark of it, and like in a separate filter, and like pour it on top. Oh, it's delicious. Intuition, number 23. From the left side of your body comes your feminine energy, whether you are a man or a woman. Whether this femaleness, this feminine consciousness lives, within this femaleness, this feminine consciousness lives your intuition. Intuition is the intelligence of your body-mind. Feel what is true with your body-mind rather than knowing what is true with your mind. We were just talking about this. Intuition does not have the clouds of accumulated knowledge to distort your vision. Exactly. If you're overthinking all the time, if you're always just trying to get the facts and you don't even know what the facts are, you're not going to get the facts. But if you trust your intuition, which is that state of just knowing, you just know what is true. That is actually more reliable than trying to dig up information, trying to talk to other people who know this person or whatever. It's like, you're going to get the perspective of a different perspective, of a different perspective, of a different perspective. You're playing telephone, you know, and you're not going to get the truth. But I feel like you already know what the truth is, but you're trying to validate it with an external source. And again, this is going to the person who we're talking about. You know, like you're trying to validate it from an external source when you can go straight to the source. You can go straight to the actual source. You know, you can go to the divine and maybe you'll find something there. Maybe do your own tarot reading and you'll probably figure out something. But you can go to the person themselves and find out what it is that you're like trying to figure out. What is it that, I mean, I don't know yet because we're trying to get into it, but trust your intuition. Intuition does not have the clouds of accumulated knowledge to distort your visions. Intuition simply sees what is truth. With intuition, you can feel the source of your being without reasoning it away and being filled with doubt, right? Because what you feel is what you feel. You can't doubt that. Doubt destroys your intuition. Your power always lies in the balance between mind and intuition, right? So finding the balance between both. Because you need your mind to problem solve. You need your mind to not lead you there, but I guess to say is like to continue to learn, to be the consciousness, to remember, and to survive, right? But also your intuition is what guides you there. It's what guides you there into the unknown. It's almost like your secret radar, you know? And so as you're walking into the unknown and your mind is trying to perceive all these different things and it's trying to problem solve, it's trying to understand, and it just does not have the information to understand yet, your intuition, which is, you know, spirit, your third eye, things like this, they see through the veil. It sees in the dark, right? And so using that ability, that skill, nurturing that skill is what is going to help you come forward. It's what's going to help you not have so much of these burdens. It's what's going to help you not regret everything that has happened. It's going to give you the clarity you need to find. I'm just going straight. Whatever. This is a weird reading. In the future, right? You're looking for their Ace of Cups, right? This is what you're looking for. If you trust your intuition, you're going to find it. You're going to find it so quickly. And I know you want to find it because in your mind, you're evaluating what it is. How can I trust my intuition? Where does my heart want to go? You're evaluating, you're trying to figure it out. And at the same time, I feel like you're kind of trying to ignore it as well. But you can't because you just can't. You feel it. You just can't. And that's trusting intuition. You know? So the next one is wisdom. Number 32. If you are addicted to the process of becoming, there are storms on your horizon. If suddenly there is nothing left to become, you are filled with terror. Suddenly you are face to face with your own empty being. Find the sacred space, a sanctuary of pleasant stillness in your heart. To know that you are truly alone is the first step on this long journey of self-discovery. On the path to power, the final step is to learn that you are already linked with the universe, that you are already part of everything, and you already live in the lodges of the universe. This is wisdom. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so this is a North card, a white card. So this has to do with spirit. And it has, in wisdom is knowledge applied, understanding the knowledge. You know, like you go to college and you learn mathematics or, you know, psychology, whatever it is that you're studying, right? History. And you're just, you know, receiving this knowledge every day. But turning it into wisdom is actually going into that knowledge and applying it into your day-to-day life. So if you want to become an engineer, right, and you're going to school to become an engineer, well, then you better start building shit in your fucking dorm. You know, you better start using that knowledge and turning it into wisdom so you actually understand it. You're not just spewing out a textbook definition. You have your own definition. You have your own higher understanding of this. And this part where it says, if you're addicted to the process of becoming, it's like, it's okay to have goals. And, you know, they're needed. You know, we always need something to conquer in life. We always need the next achievement, something to continue to grow our ego, you know, because growing the ego isn't bad. The only thing that's bad about the ego is if you only live within the ego. And this is what it's saying, is that if you're only living within the ego, if every time you accomplish something and now you have nothing to do and you feel this sort of dread because now you feel like you're empty, you have nothing that you have to offer anymore because now your whole being is just this achievement. And it's like you're so much more than just an achievement. You're so much more than just, so much more than just money. You're so much more than just however people think of you. You're so much more than all of that. You are a divine being. You are one of the most intelligent, we're humans, you know? And like being a human comes with so many responsibilities because we are not just We are not just animals that are on autopilot. You know, we have full access to our consciousness, and we have the full capability of controlling the mind and controlling what it is that we want to be, and we are creators. We are creators. That's why we have these hands here. That's why we are built the way that we are built. It's because we are meant to be here to create things, to create a better future. And that comes with wisdom, right? And so if you just have small goals, if you're just in your ego and you're just saying, I'm going to do this one small goal because, it's going to make my friends happy, or, maybe it'll make me look a little good, you're going to have a hard time, because once that achievement is over, what's the next achievement? You need that overall big goal. You need that big, like, legacy, that big legacy that's really going to, where no one can talk shit anymore. No one can talk shit. You don't, even if they talk shit, you don't care, because you know who you are. You know what you're made of. And you know that these people over here, they ain't shit. They ain't shit, and they're not ever going to be shit. So why am I going to go and entertain them? For what? Ecstasy, number 21. Ecstasy is a buoyant state of joy. One of the finest ways to maintain a state of joyousness is to examine the dark side of your being. That instinctual side, that instinctual nature that most human beings repress in civilized life. Within the instinctual nature are the seeds of ecstasy. We tend to live in our minds, in our emotions, occasionally in spirit, and almost never in our instinctual depths. We are born as wild as mountain lions, but we live most of our lives like sheep, forgetting and denying whole parts of ourselves. Sit on the earth with your back against a tree and get in touch with your roots, which move deep in the middle. Which move deep into Middle Earth. This will restore your joyousness and balance. Each day, listen to your body, mind, and your heart. What are they telling you about your given situation? Ecstasy is like a wind horse waiting to be ridden. The last ride before your passage into enlightenment. Take courage and live your passion fully. Oh man, it's just so heavy. It really is. 'Cause I feel like I just keep getting the same message over and over and over again, and it's like in a different way. So it's like we keep getting this advice of like, where was it? What did it say? I liked how it said it. We tend to live in our minds, in our emotions, occasionally in spirit, and almost never in our instinctual depths. And and the part about living like sheep. So yeah, I really like that part, because I see it every day. With my friends, with my family, with people I talk to randomly on the street. The minute it's very easy to see who is a sheep and who is a free thinker, because there's certain questions you can just ask, or the things that they talk about. Like if you're talking to someone and the first thing they're talking about is the main topic of the world right now, again, nothing wrong with keeping up to date with the world, nothing wrong with that. But if you're just feeding into the propaganda, if you're just feeding into that and you're just consuming it and you're just being told, like you're just allowing the radio signals of a higher authority control your mind like that, and that's your being, that's not you. That's not you. It's always okay to be involved in those things. It's always okay to be knowledgeable and to be wise about it. But if that's the only thing you're talking about, if that's the only thing that's in your mind 24/7, you don't have your own identity, you don't have your own things, you don't have your own personal life, what are you doing? Release. 42. Anytime you're possessed by an emotion that you cannot control, know that it does not belong to you. Someone else is sending negative energy towards you. Imagine that the negative emotion is muddy water pouring down through your hands, onto your legs and feet, and into the earth. Or take that emotion into your hands and release it like a hawk. Let it fly away. We tend to hold on to fears and negative energy in an addictive way. When you release your fears, you allow power to come into you. Create a welcoming void within the power of release. I think this is the perfect card to end on. The perfect card to end on. Because it's saying here, it's like, obviously, there are people in your circle who are influencing you. And there are people that you are allowing to influence you. Even if you don't want them to, you're allowing them to. And you're also allowing your own negative influences to stop you from making a decision. or to stop you from taking that next step into, where was it? Illumination, right? So you're allowing all these things to stop you from becoming the best version of yourself and allowing you to stay in this small ego that you've already outgrown. And you're staying there because, well, I get it. It's like, it's scary. You feel like you're losing parts of yourself. You look in the mirror and you may not even recognize yourself anymore. But that's part of the process of life. That's part of how we evolve. The soul uses the ego to evolve. And so the ego is forever changing. If your ego is not changing, then you are stagnant in life, and your life is going to be very, very dull. Very dull. Because you have nothing left to become. Just like the other card said, you have nothing left to become, because you're just going one small achievement at a time rather than figuring out what the soul really wants, what the divine has written for you. You're not allowing yourself into that blessing. And so if you're listening to people who are just trying to make you scared, if you're listening to people who just tell you, no, don't do that because, I don't know, enter dumb reason here that is dumb. I don't know your friends. I don't know the people you talk to, but obviously they're not giving you good advice. And I think you know that. And I think they're keeping you in a state of repression, a state of staying small, because they get scared. They get scared because they're saying, oh, this person's growing more than I am. I need to keep this person small because now I feel like my ego is attacked now. And, there's a lot of people I had to let go like that. Because at the end of the day, I care more about myself. I care more about me. And rest assured, I don't want to disappoint the divine, because I'd rather be the best person I could possibly be and shine brightly for the world and for the divine and be happy within myself than ever lower myself or make myself smaller for someone else's enjoyment. Fuck that person. And they might say it nicely. They might put it nicely on a little bow and say, no, you don't have to, No. That person is against you. And they might not realize it. They might not. But they are against you. And that's just life. That got intense. Sorry. I'm a Scorpio and Mars is in my first house, okay? I'm sorry. I can be intimidating. I'm sorry. There was energy there, okay? There was energy there. Let's calm down a little bit. Okay. Christian Catacomb. Where is it? Oh, these two cards are right next to each other. We'll start with the Islamic Crescent and Star. Okay. Key phrase, submission to God. Now, I don't really quite like the word God because I have my own personal beliefs. I like to say the divine, but submission to the divine, right? It's like, why are you fighting this anymore? Like, I feel like you've just been fighting it. You've just been saying, no, that can't be true. There's no way. And then the divine is just like, we'll try again tomorrow. Rules. The ability to unite with God, Goddess, and Great Spirit. Yes, Goddess. You need to unite with Goddess. Please unite with Goddess. You need more. I remember one of these cards said something about feminine energy, and we are in a time where masculine energy is just running rampant and doesn't know what the fuck it's doing. Please unite with feminine, with Goddess. Please unite with Goddess. Please bring out that inner creativity, that sexual attraction, what else? That abundance, that pure energy, that beauty. Goddess truly rules the universe, okay? It's not God, it's Goddess, all right? Understand that. Where do we all come from? We all come from a fucking woman. Women are the gateway to life, okay? You guys are very important. Like, I can't stress this enough because, like, all my songs are about this. All the things I talk about are about this. It's like, please unite with Divine Feminine. Please unite with Divine Feminine. Find your beauty, find your creativity, find that energy in you, and you're going to feel so happy. You're going to feel amazing because you're going to feel whole. Intense, powerful, and troubled. Affects the immediate world in a weighty matter. Influences others without intending to do so. Is interested in religion and all times of spiritual knowledge. A natural medium. Mesmerizing personality and appearance. Choose to remain secluded. Feels chosen for special mission, usually spiritual in nature. Intensely psychic, with a talent for changing or transforming the world. You are so important. Spirit of self-sacrifice, the ability to love unconditionally. Compassionate, emotional, and self-sacrificing. There is a strong respect for the views and perceptions of others. Love becomes spiritual and universal without losing its personal element. An intuitive listening to the universal voice in meditation or prayer. Ideas seem truly inspired or heaven sent. Being assertive is a problem. Tendency to be a martyr. You know, we're in a time with a lot of Pisces energy, and Pisces is very self-sacrificing. And a lot of I dropped all the zodiac signs doing this damn reading, but we had Capricorn, we had Aries. What else do we have? I feel like Libra. Yeah, we had Libra. What else do we have? Taurus. Some of these signs can be a bit not insecure, but like, what was the word it used? What was the word? Assertive, right? And some of these signs, I feel like they have a problem with being assertive, and then instead of being assertive, they go towards aggression, right? Because they don't know how to become. They don't know how not how to become, but they don't know how to be assertive in a sense where it's like, I'm just standing on business, I'm just saying how it is. And I think that's something that this person has to work on. Because if you're not able to stand up for your own beliefs, if you're not able to stand up for what it is that you truly want in life, then you're not gonna, I don't know, I don't want to put it in a bad way, but like, you're just not going to have a completely fulfilling life. Like, you may, I'm not trying to say you're not going to accomplish anything or you're not going to amount to shit, that's fucked up. But there's going to be certain desires that you've wanted for a long time, and they're going to be in the back of your mind, and they're just going to be there, and you're going to think about it from time to time, and you're going to say, why didn't I ever take initiative? Why didn't I ever just bite the bullet? Why did I just pull the trigger? And like, I find it so much better to live with knowing what the outcome was than not knowing. Because if you don't know, you're going to overthink it. You're going to overthink it, and life is going to just be this long cycle of what could have happened, But when you pull the trigger on it, and whether it's bad or good, and now you've learned. And now you can turn that knowledge into wisdom, and when the next time this comes around, you're going to know what to do, and you're not going to make the same mistake. And it's not going to be the same outcome. It's not. So don't self-sacrifice. Don't self-sacrifice the things that you want for someone else's comfort, or for you to be comfortable in your pain. Oh, man. I've been there. And that's why I say it so passionately, because I've been there. And, I used to self-sacrifice a lot. I would self-sacrifice. I would close my mouth. I would just nod my head. I would put my desires on the back burner. And I hated it. I hated it every day. And I felt like the biggest loser and fuck up, and it was some of my darkest times in life. And it wasn't until I acknowledged the people in my life who were holding me back. It wasn't until I acknowledged the actions and the mindsets that were holding me back that I was finally like, you know what? I am worth so much more than this. I am worth so much more, and no matter what anyone is going to tell me, I know I am worth more than this. And I became, my ego changed. I shedded that old skin. I grew. I started to shine. And now people can't deny me. And that's just how it is. If that's what you truly believe that you deserve, if you believe that you deserve to be around shitty people and around people who are going to treat you like shit, then don't be surprised when your life sucks. But when you step away from those people, and you step away from those people who don't truly have your best interest in mind, and you choose yourself, it may be a little lonely at first, but after a week, you're gonna be the happiest you've ever been. And sometimes, sometimes it's not even a week. There's some people where I got rid of them that day, oh my God, I'm alive. And all of a sudden, idea, things to do, growth. You're not chained anymore. You're not chained. And you already have the key. You already have the key with you. The divine already handed it to you. You're just afraid to use it because you don't know what's going to happen when you unchain yourself and you go into that darkness. But when you go into that darkness, shine. Shine and light your own path. And you're not going to get lost. The divine is going to help you. Goddess is going to help you. I think it's very clear here because they want you to surrender to intuition, surrender to the path, surrender your fears so that your confidence and courage can grow and your power, right? This is good. I'm going on a rant here, but this is the part of sacrifice, right? It's like we sacrifice our dark side so our light side can grow. And it's not that we're always going to have a dark side, always. That's just part of life. But when your dark side is consuming you and your light is like that, you need balance, right? So sacrifice that dark side that no longer serves you, that is just becoming a burden, that is keeping you away. It's keeping you away from legacy, from all your desires. This is complete wish fulfillment. Everything you could ever have, family, money, legacy, everything, love, it's everything. You're allowing your darkness to burden you. And that's in the past position. So, maybe it's getting better. This is just so intense. Fuck. Man, these readings are getting so intense. Yeah, that's all we gotta say about the past. Fuck the past. The past is not our editor, okay? When we write our story, the past is just a reminder of what not to fuck up next time, but we're not going to allow it to write the next story. We just remember what we fucked up, and when the next challenge comes ahead, you just remember, and then you allow... I allow the divine to be my editor, man. Like, who's a better... That's the best writer, Divine is the best writer. Current position. 5 of Cups. And Justice. So, you're feeling... I feel like I'm just talking directly to the person who we want to come back. That's how I feel that's how I feel about this. Like, I feel like I'm just talking directly to this person. So right now you're feeling... Again, you're looking at the past. The 5 of Cups is a card of like mourning what no longer fulfills you, and not even acknowledging the cups that will. And that's literally what's happening here. So he's mourning his taste for wine, and he's just remembering, like, oh yeah, that used to do something for me. I used to enjoy the taste of wine, but he's not even realizing that there's 2 cups behind him, filled with something, whatever it is that he desires, that will fulfill him. And it's like, you're not even like, they're on his coat or his robe, right? And it's like, you're so focused on, I'm just looking at this card and I'm just getting more and more of it. It's like, you see how that 1 cup of water is like spilled? It's like, you're not even realizing that you're already sabotaging it. It's like, you're not even realizing that you're already sabotaging what could serve you or what could fulfill you, because you're just so focused on the past. And with the Justice card, it's saying that there's a need for balance here. There's a need for balance, and it's also like, I feel like a need for like balancing what it is that's coming into your life to bless you. It's like, are you going to keep allowing your life to be out of balance? Are you going to keep allowing your life to not get the full benefits, blessings from the divine? Are you just not going to allow yourself that? Are you just going to allow yourself to keep mourning the past? In the future, and we already talked about this for a minute, but we have the 7 of Cups again, and we have the Ace of Cups. And so we have the 7 of Cups in the past as well. And again, it's like, let the past go. The past is controlling you so much. It's controlling you so much. You need to let it go. You need to let it go. Oh, I just feel so frustrated. That might be how you feel. I don't know. You might feel frustrated as well, and I feel it, but you need to let it go. You have to, so you can find the cup that fulfills you forever, ever flowing, never runs out of water, never. It will flow forever, and you will never ever be in a state of dissatisfaction. Your mind. We'll also say that we also have divine counterparts here. We have King of Cups and Queen of Cups. So we could be having divine counterparts here, which is great. That means for the person who wanted to know about if this person was coming back, yeah, you guys are probably supposed to be together or some shit. I don't know. Divine counterparts. Yeah, Two of Pentacles, you're still evaluating, you're still going kind of back and forth in your mind, and you're trying to figure out how to treat yourself as a trophy. Because with the Queen of Cups could be receiving advice from a motherly figure. It could also be cherishing your heart as a trophy that it is, the Holy Grail. That is what your heart is, if you didn't know. It is not something that you're going to find in the real world. It's right there. Yeah. It also, if you look at this card, it also looks like the Ark of the Covenant. So, you know, all these things are spiritual in matter, and they also come from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So, that's where it is originated from. So, yeah, treat yourself as the prize you are. Yes, do it. What is crossing you? Judgment? Ooh, I forgot about that. Yes, I'm smart. Judgment, number 20. Are you going to hear the call or not? Are you? Are you going to hear the call from the divine? And are you going to allow the parts of you to die? And are you going to allow the parts of you that need to survive and grow and thrive, are you going to allow them to? That's basically what that card's saying. That's what judgment is. Judgment is saying, whoever hears the call, get out of the casket, let's go grow. And whoever doesn't, you weren't meant to hear the call and you were meant to die. That's all that card means. It's a card of rebirth. Rebirthing yourself, right? And I feel like you will do this, you know, because we have the Four of Wands. And the Four of Wands is a great card. It's a great card. It's a card of celebration. It's a card of achievement. And if we're still talking about the relationship here, it's a card of marriage, you know? So it's like union. That is the current challenge right now. Are you going to allow yourself to hear the call to finally close out this cycle, to finally achieve the next step in your life so that you can celebrate something? So you can celebrate that you grew. So you can celebrate that you finally have the Ace of Cups. Are you going to allow yourself to celebrate? Subconscious. This is the inner emotions, the inner thoughts, the thoughts that maybe you don't even realize. Yeah. King of Wands. Four of Cups. So, King of Wands is a very charismatic, very business-oriented entrepreneur. The father archetype, you know, he also has foresight. He takes risks, you know, and this is where we have a duality here again. So it's like, I feel there's so much duality here because there's like this need to like start anew, but there's also this like, no. And I feel like you want to be on the throne. You want to be on the throne of the King of Wands. You want to be there. You want to be like, yeah, I'm here. I take a fucking risk. I go all in and I don't give a fuck because I'm charismatic. I have good luck and I always win. But then, right when you're at that doorstep to take that little like Right when you're ready to go through, you're like, no. Can't do it. Dissatisfaction. What if it doesn't work? What if? You know, it's like, you have to stand on business. You have to stand up for yourself. And you have to I don't know how else to put it. Like, you have to allow yourself to receive. I think that's really what it is at the end of the day. You have to allow yourself to receive. Yeah. Because that's what this person isn't doing. They're not allowing themselves to receive. Advice. 6 of Cups. 10 of Swords. So the way I had this, I kind of had the 10 of Swords before the advice. So I feel like the 10 of Swords is something that is influencing this. So you could be at a moment of time where, you know, judging by the timeline we have here, you could be in a time of deep regret, in a time of repeating what has happened in your mind, and especially with the Judgment, you know, a time of rebirth. So your advice here with the 10 of Swords: allow this ego to die. Allow it to die. It is done. That symbol he's making with his hands is a symbol of rebirth. And we have the sun rising at the horizon. Allow that ego to die, because it is no longer, you don't fit into it, you don't like it anymore, it doesn't serve you anymore, it's keeping you down. Let it die. Let it die. And you're going to be reborn into this new, more innocent, more like delicate, you know, and more vulnerable part of yourself. But you're going to be protected, you know, like you're not just going to be vulnerable walking around, people are going to like stab you, you know, like, because in this card, you see there's these 2 children, but there's a watchtower, they're in like a gated community, they're, you know, it's a card of like innocence and stuff like that. So it's like you're going to learn from this old ego, you know, you're going to learn which boundaries you need to keep up and which ones you need to put down, and you're going to learn which people you need to be vulnerable with and which ones you shouldn't be with, you know. And also, this is a card of like a card of like a turning point. It's a card of blessings, you know. It's a card of nostalgia, and it's like, this is a card of past life. You know, what's the word I'm looking for? Past life lovers. You know, it's like, allow this calloused version of yourself that has been through so much, that is like, you've been through it already, but you're not gonna go through it anymore. And I keep hitting my damn table, but like, you're not gonna go through it anymore. Allow yourself to be reborn into this new, softer, delicate, more feminine goddess, right? Goddess version of yourself, so that you can be happy with maybe this person who wants to know if you're gonna come back. I don't know. This reading is going all over the damn place. I'll confirm it later. But just like, we're just focusing on overall happiness right now. You know, like, at the end of the day, like, you need to be happy. And at the end of the day, like, whether you're with this person or you're not with this person, we are already born whole. We are already born with male and feminine, right? Masculine and feminine. We're already born with that. We are already a complete being. Now, when we are with our twin flame or soulmate, that's what I was looking for, past life lover, whatever. When we are with that person, it's now you are growing. It's like, you know, you're growing a collective of your own. You are putting 2 pieces of consciousness together that are 2 halves of the same soul, or 2 halves of the same energy, and you're putting them together for a powerhouse. But that being said, that does not mean that you're not a powerhouse on your own. You are still a powerhouse. You are still capable of achieving everything with or without that person. Now, with this person, it could be easier. You could be truly powerful. You could truly create a legacy, an empire. You could create everything. But that does not mean you cannot do it on your own. And that's what I mean here. It's like, are you going to choose yourself? Are you going to choose you? Because choosing this person is not going to make you choose yourself. Now, choosing yourself could lead to choosing this person, and that's the way how you want to do it, you know. But you have to like choose yourself. You have to choose your soul. You have to choose your soul. Choose your soul, please. Choose goddess. That's what your soul is, goddess. Please, please, please choose goddess. Please. External influences, relationships, whatever. Three of Pentacles and the Hangman. Okay. Let me chill up for a second. Oh, yeah. My heart just cracked. It's heavy. You know, I understand. You know, like, I'm not trying to be rude or trying to be like a parent or a lecturer, but it's just like, I just feel so much with this. Like, I feel the frustration, I feel the anger, and I feel like the push and pull, the tension. And I'm just like, your answer is choosing yourself. That is your answer. Choose yourself, choose goddess, please. You know, it's like, it's like, you know, I'm gonna pause this real quick. Okay, I'm back. I'm okay now. So, you could be working with people right now, and I think you're getting like, I think you're seeing that it's not really working. The people you're working with right now are just not growing in the interests that you're growing in. I think you're getting a new perspective with the Hangman. And I think you want to work with a different kind of people. And I think that would be very good for you. After everything that we've talked about here, the people you're working with could be holding you back, you know? So, yeah, I think it's pretty simple. And also, like, I also get this other duality of, like, seeing someone else work a certain way. And, like, that's the reason why you have a new perspective, because you're seeing how this person is working. And you're like, wow, that person gets shit done. And it's like, again, are you going to allow yourself... I'm sorry, you know, I'm not even going to say it. You know what? I'm not even going to say it. You've heard me say it enough. You know, you already know I'm going to say it. You already know. Hopes and fears. 7 of Swords. Ace of Swords. Again, duality. I'm going to try to keep it cool, all right? I'm going to try to be relaxed. Your energy is just very intense. And I resonate with that shit. So, you are fearful. I feel like it's almost like you're fearful of losing. Like, you want to take all the swords away so you don't lose. But at the same time, like, I think if you were just like in truth, I don't even think you would need to do that. I don't even think you would need to be sneaky and take swords away or find, you know, hidden like agendas or like information that could like give you an upper hand. I think if you just spoke with truth, I think you'd be fine. I don't think there's any need to steal swords. I think the sword you have already is very powerful. Outcome. So, is this person coming back or not, motherfucker? They are trying. They are trying to come back because they feel so cold. They feel so cold. They feel so alone. And they're looking for that. You brought them. Okay, I'm switching, talking, like, I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to other, no. I'm talking to person that wants to know you're coming back. You were a light in this person's life. You were. You were stability. You were stability. And I feel like they didn't know, they never experienced that before. They never experienced that before. And they didn't know how to deal with it. They didn't know how to nurture it. They weren't ready for it yet. And I know you want them back. I know you do. But you have to realize that the only way they're going to come back is if they let this ego die. It's the only way. You know, it really is. Because if this ego, like the soul is what is feeling the cold right now. And the ego is feeling it as well. And that's why the ego is fighting to survive, because it feels that it's dying. But it's necessary for it to die. And because the soul is ready to grow. The soul wants to grow. So it needs a new ego now. And you were the catalyst to that. Because you showed a certain light that they have never seen before. You showed them that. And they walked away not because the feelings weren't there. Not because you were a problem. They walked away because it was just so overwhelming. And I think you can tell that by how I've been in this fucking reading. You know, like I've been all over the place, and it's just so overwhelming. It is so overwhelming. They are blinded by the light. Blinded by the light. Na, 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 na. You know, like they're just blinded, like couldn't see anymore. You were shining that brightly, and you lit it's like they were in the darkness, and then you just came out of nowhere, flashbanged everything, and their eyes were just so accustomed to the dark that it was so blinding that they had to turn away. You know, they had to, because it was just like, I've never seen someone shine that bright before. Yeah. Okay, so let's get some confirmation. We're going on to an hour here, but this has been an interesting reading, and I feel like it's been very thorough. But I just have a couple more questions, because I want to answer the main question. I feel like sometimes with these intense readings, like it's not that we're going off topic, but it's like we're just getting all this information to like tell us about this situation. And so I just want like a clear answer, because now we know the situation. Are they coming back? Only if this ego dies. That is the situation. If this ego dies, yeah, they're coming back. So is the ego going to die? You know, are they going to allow themselves to receive? Are they going to allow this ego to die so they can be reborn into a new ego that better suits them? Okay. You know what? Let's get one more card. All right. Okay. We're good. At first, I was worried for a minute. I'm not gonna lie. I was worried for a minute. I was worried for you. So if I'm looking at this as past, present, and future. In the past, God damn it. Hold on. Nude people. I already got one warning. I do not need a next. You know what? I'm just gonna cover it with this card, and you can look at the devil. So, foreshadowing. So, in the past, it was looking tough. They were consumed by the ego, and they were chained up. But in the current position, we have the Tower. And I think what's great about it too is that like we're going in order. This is literally the next card in the Major Arcana. So we're going in order here. Had some noise, so I just cut it real quick. But so in the past position is the devil. So I was a little worried at first. But we're good because it's in the past position. So they were at one point consumed by the ego. So much weird stuff is happening right now. But now, the tower is falling. Oops, sorry. The tower is falling. The ego is dying. And in the future, they will be reborn as a new person, as new desires, new passions, new life. That's what this card means, new life. So, yeah. The ego is going to die. Their ego is going to die, and they will be coming back. But let's confirm that real quick. Might as well. Yeah. Past position, leaving an oppressive situation. Currently, seeing everything clearly, Queen of Swords. Union. So yeah. Just give it time. They're going through a lot, okay? They're going through a lot. This shit's not easy. Ego deaths are fucking pain. When I went through all my countless ego deaths, I was laying on my fucking bed, just like in pain. You know, and just being like, What am I doing in my life? What's the next move? What's this? What's that? Everything I've done has been a failure. Blah 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 blah. You know, just like going through all that stuff, all of it. Page of Swords on the bottom of the deck. Hierophant at the bottom of this deck. So yeah, definitely gonna have some communication soon. Divine is bringing the two of you together. But yeah, ego deaths are not fun. They are not fun. You feel great afterwards though. You feel amazing. You're a new person. And, you know, you're able to close that chapter. But speaking back to the person who's going through the ego death, and there's only one zodiac sign that's still left here on the table. Maybe you're an Aries. I don't know. Maybe. All the other ones fell down. Everything's been fucking dropping. Table's been shaking. Noises and yeah. Yeah. You know, I think I'm gonna end this reading here. This was an intense one. Give your person time. Please. Give them time. And it's all gonna work out in the end. Just don't stress. Try to be a light. And don't rush them. Don't. They're going through a lot right now. They are. They're going through a lot. It's not easy. And all you can be is just stability, you know, in any way you can. I'm not trying to say go run to this person and tell and like, you know, I'll do everything. No. Just be like, you know, just keep doing your thing. Keep doing you. That's the stability. You know, if you are just stable in your own being and they're able to just see that you're still stable, it's going to help them. Okay. So just continue doing you. Don't worry about if they're coming back or not. They're coming back. They're just going through a lot. A lot. This was a very intense reading. My heart cracked like 3 times. They are healing. They are learning. They are growing. So, give it time. Until next time, travelers in the void.